Guess I should probably stop putting this on hold. I'm busy doing other things. Don't worry about it. Hi, friends. Welcome. We're back with more Bloodborne. It's gonna be great. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to tighten my, whatever this is. Brace. Wrist brace. Are y'all ready to beat up a big nerd today? Oh, goodness. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a sleepy day today. I did a lot, and that was good. And then I just laid in bed for the last, like, hour and a half. Not actually sleeping, but at least resting, so that was nice. We liked that. We had fun with that. Yeah. God, what did we do last time? We beat Ebriatus? Our sweet octopus lady? Poor thing. Yeah, we got a lot of bosses done last time, because we also got the Celestial Emissary, our big mushy boy. We met... I keep wanting to call him Logarius, and that's not right. Ludwig, the Accursed, Horseman, Bad Horse, big ol' Bad Horse, and... Oh yeah, and the one reborn. I forgot that. God, was that all yesterday? Wowee. Alright, we did good. We did really good. I'll take it. Coming back to, Bloodborne after, like, over a week of not playing and just, like, absolutely kicking ass? Yeah, alright. Cool. Cool. Well, I feel much better about, like, how much we've done then. Alright, so like we've said and or implied or whatever, depending on where you've seen the going live messages, we're gonna fight Mikolash today. That's gonna happen probably. I'm not looking forward to it. Ella, thank you for the lurk. Hi, I love you, you're great. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the Mikolash fight. Specifically because that's where I quit. That's where I officially quit on my, my very first playthrough. That makes sense. Go mod for those other two people, but also drink some peach schnapps for me. I got some Mike's Hard here, and a couple, like a lemonade shandy or something. Maybe I'll drink tonight. We'll see. We'll see. We love you though, Ella. We appreciate you popping in at the very least. No, Travis gets no hellos. Ella's the only one who gets a greeting. Alright. So yeah, like I was saying, like, Mikolash is, it's true, he does do the best puns. Okay. So yeah, the very first time, or like when the game came out, I got to Mikolash and that's where I quit. Because I just couldn't. Nah, you do you, bud. We'll love your puns even if they're bad. We just might grimace a little bit. Don't worry. And yeah, it's like, I don't think, when I fought Mikolash, it wasn't necessarily that he himself was terribly difficult, at least to the point that I, you know, got in the fight. He just kept running away, and then I kept running off edges, and then I got too upset with it, and so I set the game down for a long while. That boy just fell through the floor. I did that thing that I do where I set a game down when I'm too frustrated with it, and then I never came back. Fast forward to, what, 6 years later? and here we are. finally back at this point. It's gonna be great. So I guess Travis is the one who will be able to officially confirm, but if I beat Mikolash, I can still access the DLC and everything, right? Or do I need to take care of the DLC now? I did need a hero like Waluigi. We can still access it? Okay, cool. Then let's fucking go. Let's do this. Let's go beat this boy. Can you not? No! Don't fall off the edge, please. Hey. Just one more boss after? Okay. Okay, good. So we can do Mikolash and then we can go wander around the Hunter's Nightmare. That'll be exciting. Depending on what I consume. Eyeballs? Are we eating eyeballs? That seems kind of on brand. Where does this go? This goes up, right? This is the direction we need to leave. Or was there a stairway behind us? Oh, wait, right. This goes... That's a bookcase, okay. Just have to double check. Don't... Fruity knows what's happening? Shock. I definitely don't. I think I'm more just surprised anyone can make sense of anything for the first time ever. Very good. Oh, dang. Ah, dang. Oh, Raven dogs. Oh, excuse me. I was about to say, Fruity definitely knows a lot about Hattress. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was very loud. Oh, right, we got the other... I can get here from Murgo's Loft. I don't have to go inside. I can just take the outside shortcut. There's an outside shortcut. That's why we left. Ah, because this is definitely boss territory. But I have so many echoes now. Oh, fuck it. Let's go. Hello? Oh, these fuckers. They don't give echoes. What? Are those stairs or is that... I can't see. Yeah, those are stairs. Where does this go? I mean, it's been oh, that just... Okay. That just goes around. Here I was being like, oh, secrets. Alright. Already.
Some say console. Do you hear our prayers?
It's been
abandon the tree.
1 week
No
since
one
I...
can catch us.
Fuck,
No
shut
one
up,
can
Mikolash!
now.
Grant us eyes. Grant us eyes. I haven't even died to this dummy yet, and I'm already mocking him. This is the only way to keep me from, bare naked ladying. It's just throw Mikolash in front of me. I'll be too mad to, like, you know, do the thing. Come here, you freaking nerd! Did he just vanish? Give me your milk money, nerd! I can't go there. Well, at least he hasn't started repeating his dialogue. Oh. Why is he like this? Can't with this man. No, no, only Travis is allowed to wield the freaking tentacles. No. Come here, nerd. Stop! Ugh. Come on. No, stop. He's not dead, though. Yeah.
Majestic! A hunter is a hunter, even in a dream. But alas, not too fast. The nightmare swirls and churns unending.
I hate him. He's not dead yet. Don't get my hopes up. Hold on. There's a little buddy here. No! Stop running away from me. Oh my god! No! 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 My buddy got away! I don't know that this is where I'm supposed to be! Fucking hell! I just wanted the friend. I died because I got greedy and I wanted the friend. I know I said I would try once and then if I didn't get it, I would have you pop in, Travis. Do you wanna... you wanna come do a murder with me? That's the wrong button. That's the wrong dang button. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta... oh no. Oh
Hello.
no. Hi. Hold on. You can't hear me because push to talk's not on. Or push to talk is on. Okay. Now you should be able to hear me. I set things to push to talk and then forget to unset it. It's very good.
It happens. It's that good ghost chat.
This is a very good ghost chat. I said some really funny things while you couldn't hear me. And you can't go back in the VOD to hear it either, because it's been deleted. So, it's unfortunate for you. Gone forever! Alright, I'm at Murgo's loft. Just chilling.
Not Murgo's base.
Not Murgo's base. No. I don't know that I have Murgo's base.
I'm about to find. No, you are at base.
Am I?
Think so. Yeah. No, you're This is the 100% Mergo space.
Oh, alright, well. I don't know where I got loft from then. This is fine. I just wanted that scuttle buddy. Those dang metal jesters. They
They're
got
awful.
me. They're horrible. What's down there? Death. Death is down there.
I mean, you can jump and find out.
Alright, we'll see you later. Right as you get summoned. It's fine.
Bye forever.
Pearl! Oh, you're so bright.
Yeah, I'm wearing the choir robes.
Oh.
They have good arcane defense.
Oh, you know what? That's actually probably like a good idea. 'Cause he hit hard.
Yeah, he does.
Choir garb. Hi, Devo. No, don't act like I haven't just cuddled you for the last hour and a half. Oh, these trousers are so puffy.
Oh, it's a good garb.
Hey, thanks for sending me back down.
You bet. I can try.
I do like that the buttons are eyes. That's pretty cool. I'd decorate with it. Those dog birds didn't stand a chance. Oh. Bell ringing woman needs to get out of here with her sinister bell. It's too much.
Okay. So there are a couple cheesy strategies we can do.
I mean, I'm here for it.
We could try them. They might not work. So in the first phase, he runs around a bunch until he goes into a room.
Yeah.
And if I can find the room and stand in front of it, he's not allowed to go on. He can't leave.
All right.
So we can try that while he's running around. And give that a go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Also, these eyeballs are spiders?
Yeah.
Oh. I hadn't noticed. Is this the room?
This is the room. So if I can stand like right here, the poor nerd won't be able to get in there.
Alright, well let me kill the things that are in here, because I may have woken them all up. Mikolash. Just gonna run around a bit, buddy.
And to be fair, these are internet rumors that I've heard. I haven't tested any of this.
Sure. Well, it's science time then, is what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
Time for some. Get out of my way! Dang puppet body things.
It is going to be very good to watch you run past the screen, like Scooby-Doo style, like you run left and then right.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
does.
look, there he is. He's in front of me.
I was gonna say he poofs around a bit. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let's just switch over to my gun. Let's just gun a boy. Maybe if I can like lock on to him. It is important science that we must be doing. We're doing this for the greater good. Oh, that was lovely. I have no idea where he went though.
I don't know either.
There he is. I found him. No! Stop running! Maybe if I keep shooting, I will eventually hit him. Alright, hang on. Bud.
Oh, here he comes.
Get him.
Here
Get
he
him!
comes.
Oh, I don't want to, like, push him too close to the door.
Oh, he got me.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got him in a corner. Ah, dang, he's also got me in a corner. No!
was
Alright.
100% not prepared for him to attack me.
Yeah, I didn't think he would.
But if he's ready to be angry,
Sorry, I'm just enjoying us staring at each other. Are you gonna...
no, I think he's good where he is. He's pretty chill. He just doesn't. Oh, nobody saw that coming.
Is this how we're doing this?
I mean, it's fine. Like the worst thing about the tentacles is that they easily get blocked by things, because they only hit one thing, and if it hits a wall, okay.
I'm noticing that.
It's very good.
Ouch!
Okay, so he's gonna run ahead to the second stage.
Yeah.
Hunter, even in a dream.
Well, it was kind of nice having him just, like, in that corner.
Yeah.
Alright. Now to find him.
The internet rumor that I read was like, well, he won't, since he's not in the room, he won't attack. He'll just stand and try to get in.
Debunked.
Yeah.
But he won't try to get into the room anymore. He gave up on that. Yeah, myth busted. Do we go... It's not... He's getting louder if I go up.
Right. There is another moon room down that way.
Up or down?
Up, down. Down the staircase is the moon room.
Okay. A direction. If you go some way. Ugh, and there's this...
But you can always come back to this area.
No, I want it now. No! Stop! My echoes are down here, too. And now that I know that these guys are here. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. Hey, why doesn't that stun you?
I like how they are more aggressive than Mikolaj.
It's miserable. Also, Jody, hello. Is he lemon crab? Yes? Less unacceptable. More eyes. Many more eyes.
He does have catchphrases that he uses too much.
Facts. Alright, yeah, we'll come back down here. Hopefully I lose them.
No, you just have more buddies in the fight.
Do
you have any more of the daggers that...
The bone blades.
Yeah.
I do. I have 2 more.
I don't know how long it lasts, but if they come up and
oh god, now
is
sorry.
right there.
Mikolaj is now repeating himself.
Oh,
do you hear our prayers? Grant us eyes. Grant us eyes. Bro. The first time I played through, or started, like, this fight, he repeated that shit so often. Like, non-stop.
It definitely drags it out, because it's a 10-minute fight, and it doesn't need to be.
Facts. Stop! Freaking mirror hopping. This thing! That friggin' ledge always got me. Can I drop? I can drop down there. He's down there, isn't he? Oh, dang.
Maybe.
I don't see him.
There are 2 different places where you can drop down, and he might be.
I don't see him in that one. Alright, well, let's maybe find the other one? Oh! Oh god, no. Okay, that's not a ledge, that's a staircase. Everything is so dark. There
It's
he
very
is!
dark.
Speaking of, I should probably re-equip my lantern. Doesn't help a ton, but it helps a little bit. Oh. Okay. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. So you said, those poison knives were an option, right?
I also tested this. He started teleporting in position, but because he was teleporting like Nightwalker style, he wouldn't get poisoned.
Oh.
I went through 20 daggers, and I don't think the 4 is gonna do it. Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch, though.
See,
I'm
for
not
me,
gonna
he was
use
like
these.
taking 3 steps forward and then doing it.
That's incorrect. I wonder if my Molotovs would do anything. I need to stop hitting triangle. Okay, I can't access my menu while he's talking. Eaglash, I need you to stop monologuing. And like, wait a second. Wait, he's not
Okay,
even
so-
down there.
Anytime I hear his name, I just think of like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine skit, where the one dude is like, it's pronounced Nikolash. Yeah, that's what I said. No. Nikolash.
Gotta get it right. Do it good. What? That corpse, like, just fetal positioned on me to get away from my attack.
I mean, if you're only held together by string, anything can get really tiring.
That's
Especially
valid.
this boss fight.
God. For real. Is he here then? No. Mentally and physically, I am a wolf. That's all I hear. So, this one? Eaglash, where did you go? I think I broke him. Yeah, he's not here. Hey, bud.
He's probably off praying to like the void.
Like you do. Hey, 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 hey! Stop. Oh no. Bud, where did you go?
And that is what makes this fight so miserable.
I don't know where he is, and that's a problem. There you are! You definitely weren't there.
100% was not.
Oh, you gonna punch me? That's cute. What is that? Don't do that.
Oh,
It was
it's very
actually,
bad.
it was a lot easier to dodge than I expected it. So, that's fine. Let's just beat up this old man. Ouch.
Yeah, when it hits it hurts.
Yikes. Okay, stop. Stop. I need you to not do that. Can you do, like, literally any other move? God. literally any other move.
I mean, he's got something that works right now.
I don't like it. Oh, that's not good. Okay, get out of here. That's
nicely done.
Though. We did it. Don't worry, Mikolash. I'll remember. All of it. Hey, I got a cool hat. Oh, hey, cool hat.
Same hat.
Same hat! Now I can match our friend Damien. And that's exciting. Where's the staircase going? First try. Oh, it's going to the ledge that I almost yeeted myself off of. I think.
Yeah, now to find it in that miserable
Terrible
library.
labyrinth. They built this library bad. Do they know that they did it bad?
Well, it's a Carnegie library, so.
Beautiful. Give me these bullets. I need more blood vials. Desperately. I am at 5. Iron door key. Oh, look at all this stuff. This is a dead end. All right, back up we go. I don't want to be here anymore. Can I just start screaming for directions? Oh, here
Maybe
the
you
stairs.
could try like a Marco Polo thing.
I'll just listen for the bork bork of the crow dogs. It'll be great. How about all the walls? How about I check all the walls? That'll be good. Okay. There should be stuff at the bottom of the staircase. Don't shoot me. God, you have so much health. Farley, don't do it. Hey, hold on a second. Oof, Farley. No. Leave that alone. That's not for big dumb cats. We found our buddies. And now I feel like I can handle them. It's great. Moon. There's no Scuttle Buddy, though. That's sad. Right. This is the way I came in. This place needs better signage. I don't know where anything is. And no one's here to help me. 0 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. I'm gonna destroy this place on Yelp. Maybe he should have considered hiring more people. I feel like the threat of death has always been around. Particularly at this location. Who's jumping at me? Oh. Oh, it's just you. Bro? I should probably just leave here. I should just go so we can go do Hunter's Nightmare. I need to stop pressing ahead. This also means I can get more blood vials. Do you want to hop into Hunter's Nightmare with me?
Certainly.
All right. Can go kill a horseman together.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Very well, let me.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. Farley, what did I just tell you, buddy? That's not big for big cats. Yeah, it's bad horse time. Let's get some more health, and let's definitely throw some more endurance in there. I need that stamina.
Farewell, good hunter.
Hold on. I guess I should probably also see if I can level my stuff up. Farley! Hold on a second. Oh my god, this cat! Hey! No! Go! Get! Be gone! Be gone, beast! The beast is gone. Oh, heck yeah. Whirligig can go to +9! I need a blood rock now. That's...
So I think there's only 2 of those found in the game, or you can purchase it for 60 insight.
Well, dang. That's a lot.
It's a few.
Hold on. Okay, let's... I mean, obviously it's gotta go to the Whirligig. I can buy Shaman Bone Blades for 1 insight now. That's exciting. Oh, heck yeah, I can buy fire paper now, too. Love that for us.
Now with 100% more burning.
Love that for us. Okay, I think that's all I need to do here. To the nightmare. Me, I would be throwing down 60 eyeballs for a nightmare rock. I do that. I do that. Brains are fun. Nightmare Church. I will summon you. Have you not seen that Vine? Fruity! Who are you? Well, I did that thing again where I hit the wrong button. Beckoning bell. You've seen 0 vines? Oh, I don't like that. Alright, I'm gonna have to send a bunch of vines to you because, like, we gotta fix this. There's our pearl. Oh, I should, change clothes. Friendship not over, but definitely reconsidering. Vines are, essential. Like, you gotta know. You must know.
Okay, but much like the American Confederacy, it was very short-lived.
Yeah, but unlike the American Confederacy, it actually kicked ass. Rip Vine. I love you.
Where are we going?
we're gonna go to Logarius. Ludwig, not Logarius. Maybe I'll bring our other friend along. Henriette!
Okay, we can bring like all the friends.
We gotta. We're gonna get the whole team back together again.
We're getting the band back together.
Hey, bud. Come down here. Hey, bud, come down here. Hey, bud, come down here. Did it bad. Ouchies! Boy, hit hard. Oh, I got vermin.
Nice. Everyone needs vermin.
Do we though?
Yeah, 100%.
That's from your covenant, isn't it?
I don't know what covenant I have right now.
Oh, perfect.
I think I'm Vile Blood.
I know we were trying to coordinate that at one point.
Yeah, we were. I think we both switched and didn't tell the other person.
Oh, I definitely
Yeah.
haven't switched. I'm still Vile Blood,
Oh, I'm also a Vile Blood.
which I guess is why I'm confused about the vermin. Henriette, why aren't you telling us, buddy? Oh God.
Okay, well, I'll just spore everything.
Between the three of us, we're unbeatable. Heck, maybe we can take out those giant squid boys.
Maybe even a horse.
Maybe even a bad horse. I do realize I've like led us the wrong way. For that I apologize. What is this noise?
I don't know, I don't have in-game sound.
Maybe it's just the corpse piles and they're just extra loud today.
Yeah, that's like a Tuesday thing, where the corpse piles are extra loud.
It's not Tuesday, my dude!
Is it not?
It's not. Nah.
What? Okay, when you dream, what day of the week is it?
Not Tuesday.
Okay. Well,
Tuesdays suck.
yeah, this is a nightmare.
Oh, alright, you know what? Valid point. I do want to see if we can take care of this squid boy. Ouchies.
I don't know, Henriette was like hooked on the ladder and was let me down.
Ow! No! Oh, there is so much lag!
Oh, it's fine now
Henriette's
that Henriette
dead!
died. I don't even know what she died to.
The other squid boy. He was definitely back there just screaming.
Anyway, we made it back to the lantern.
Hey, but there's the squid boy. There's the squid boy, and I want to see how hurt he is.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah,
like
no,
100%, I guarantee.
no. There's a sliver. There's a little sliver. Henriette got one good hit in there. Oh boy. All right, down we go. No. I don't know where I'm going.
No?
No.
There's the gate with the witch.
Yeah, but where?
Over this way. we walked past it as we came over this way. I was just thinking of how the gate golem was gonna be like, oh, here's some blood vials for you, which I can use. Like, there's the gate right there.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I definitely got lost. Oh, hi, witch. Got her distracted. Get her. I think I was just so excited about Henriette and or the possibility of Henriette being around that I just lost any and all memory of how to do anything here. It happens.
Is there anyone to summon here? Or are we the wrong covenant?
I think we're the wrong covenant.
Oh! It's Walter, if we switch to his.
Aw, the dang Confederate boy!
Yeah.
You know who I miss? Damien.
Henriette? Oh, sorry. I did that bad.
I could.
I was like, I know it's only been 3 seconds, but you know.
I do miss Henriette though. Do I wanna Mensis cage this up? There's a lot of physical resistance.
I have no idea. Like any guide that I've seen for this boss in order to make it less miserable is just like, just do your best. It doesn't
Yikes.
matter. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, it's gonna suck anyway. Just look good.
Yikes. Oh, there he is. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to. Oh, he's so bad. Ouch. Do you want a delayed Molotov, buddy? Oh, don't go over there. I didn't think about what I was doing.
I hate when he jumps up.
Watch out for his eyeball mouth. It's very bad eyeball stub.
Oh, I think that's just a neck. Because he
Well,
like spews the juices out of it.
I mean, definitely, but it's also got eyeballs on the inside. Oh god!
See where he's aiming.
Jesus Christ. Ow, bud.
I think he's forsaken this area.
Fucking hell!
Oh god, no.
60% eyeball? I don't know. I would say he's about 60% leg. Oops, all legs. Oh, bad horse. Farley.
They're all left feet.
Get out, go, be gone. Get away, go away. I don't want you.
Does Farley just need all the attention?
Hold on, I'm coming back. Probably. He keeps like jumping up on top of the cat box to get up on the shelf to get the plants. It's like, Farley, stop.
So that's
No.
just all bad.
It's just all bad. That's gonna kill him. Buddy. Don't do that. Alright. I'll start beckoning again. Oof. He's just being a turd. I am gonna equip things. I thought I had regular Molotovs. I guess I don't. We'll just stick with this fire paper then.
Yeah.
Too bad there's no enemies that I can bone blade. That would be cool.
Could you bone blade one of his legs and then he just starts kicking himself?
If only.
That'd
I'll
be neat.
bone blade the neck stump. So it just starts spewing on himself. Just like a baby.
I mean, yeah, I hung out with a baby today and that's pretty much all I did.
What a cool kid.
I know, right?
Oh, hi.
Well, hello.
I know where we're going this time. Kind of.
A la
Okay.
doigt.
I just don't want Squid Boy noticing us. Nah, she did.
Oh yeah, get that witch.
Then stack up on a couple of blood vials. We're still at a loss, but you know, not quite as significant. Sorry, I
I don't know,
abandoned
do
you
we-
as witch head stuff. It's just pebbles.
Do you want to kill the crows and then see if Henriette wants to come. She's not gonna make it easier, but
Oh, that's true. But yeah, let's. Sorry. The corpses are groaning, and I straight up thought it was my stomach. I was like, I just ate. I shouldn't be hungry. This is my brain today. We're just here, just vibing. Right, come on, Henriette. Oh, this sucks. 4 levels under what I wanted to be. 9 levels under what's recommended. It's great. Let's go. We got this. Okay, now the trick is to not have Henriette notice the squid boy.
just keep running. Just keep running. She'll catch up. She'll be like, oh yeah, I don't have time for this.
I don't know. She's determined.
She's coming.
Okay, good.
She did start running that way though.
Of course she did. Okay, I got my fire paper ready. Oh god. I somehow managed to avoid that, just to get donkey kicked. Love that for us. Jesus Christ, Henriette.
Is she doing bad?
No,
Or is she doing good?
She was doing great. I wasn't, though. I like your skulls.
Oh no.
Yeah, I died. I know he's a horse and not a donkey. That doesn't change the fact that he donkey kicked me. I got stuck under him, and couldn't roll out. I lived there.
Donkey kick is more of a mood.
Yeah. Oof. Alright, well that sucked.
And that mood is when you're surrounded by hunters. And you just feel the need to lash out.
Big mood. I'm gonna grab Henriette. No, this is the wrong direction. Oh no. It's not me getting lost again.
It's a very small area.
And and my brain is much smaller. Can't expect me to remember all this. Alright, grabbing Henriette. Coming back up.
I've rang the bell.
Cool. Man, no, Henriette was going ham on that horse. Getting out the wacky hammer and all that. It's pretty good.
Dang.
It was pretty good. Maybe I... Do I stick with our silly pizza cutter, or do I make it go a little faster? Choices.
I mean, a pizza cutter on the back is never bad.
True. I'm just so dang slow. Surprise witch. Peeable. Oof. I didn't break my racket. My racket's fine. It's, it breaks down for easy travel. Don't worry about it.
It's detachable.
Okay, hang on, bud. I'll be right back. Ludwig, I'm gonna grab my echoes. Henriette? Oh god, those frames. Oh lord.
You didn't need those, right?
Not at all. Hangy horse. Henriette?
Oh no.
Jesus! God, he hits hard. Like, I was at full health. I don't know that we're ready for him.
Maybe not.
Oof.
How well did we do? Like 50%?
A little over that, but like pretty close. I think that's the furthest we've gotten, at least. That's the furthest I've gotten. Which
yeah.
is hey, progress, but it's not great. Dang. Oh no,
he
he
does have a
100.
second
Yeah, I
form.
was gonna say he absolutely has a second form. And I'm not ready for that. We're barely ready for his first. Is there anything that you need to do in your game? Just trying to think of ways for us to get some dang echoes.
Other than chalice stuff, not really.
Okay. There's not really much else to explore around here.
There is the rest of the Murgo stuff. We can do that.
Let's go do that. Let's go handle Murgo. She's the glorified babysitter, isn't she?
Mm.
The wet nurse. Is that what she's called?
There is also a miserable hidden area. If you want to die a bunch.
I mean, we're gonna do that anyway. Murgo's your fave boss? I really, like, I know I've seen her design. I don't think I've ever actually fought her. But yeah, her design's, like, super cool. I know she's got lots of, like, sides. Well, hand sides everywhere. So I'm at Murgo's middle. Is it just, like, straight through this, Oh, wait, no. This is the wrong way.
Yep, it's straight up those stairs.
Yeah. Bell ringing woman needs to stop with her sinister bell nonsense. Again. Yeah, do you want to be summoned in, or...?
Yeah, I can get summoned in.
Just chill.
I can show you the secret area never to go to.
We're doing it. We're gonna do it. I'm a ring ding ding, and I'm standing at the top of the first set of stairs.
Okay.
She's mad as heck. She's gonna get me? I mean, yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. She's gonna get me. We know this.
I mean, I think she's learned all of her attacks from Naruto.
Aw, dang!
Yeah.
Got a ninja up in here. Hi, baby.
So about halfway down is a
Oh, no.
window.
Oh, I see it. Going in. Ah!
So yeah, I died 30 times to that window alone. If you do it too early, you get caught on the the little filigree right up there,
Yep.
and it just it's awful. I'm sure you noticed.
I picked up on that. That caught me by surprise. I was unprepared. Oh no.
Did you change your counter?
Yeah, I did. I updated it.
Okay.
I added +1. Oof. Cool. Well, I'll check that area out at some point. Not now. Can't blow all my insight on that. Actually, yes, I can. How many Madman's knowledge do I have now? 7?
You have any great old one's wisdom?
I don't. I'm not that cool.
I've heard you can go to like a pub or something and just sit around, and
Yep.
great old one's wisdom will just be imparted to you.
It'll just fall into your lap, whether you want it or not. Excuse me. Thank you for the clip, Fruity. You can! You've been given such power. Use it responsibly. Or don't. Where are you? There you are.
Yeah, I am.
Up!
So, like, the worst part about it is that after you die, the elevator's gonna be down. So you have to pull the elevator back up every time.
I appreciated the fact that, like, my blood echoes were just, like, right here.
Mhm.
That was nice.
Yeah, that's really nice of them. It
Ugh.
100% is not nice, but we can pretend.
Do I?
I mean, there is the rest of the area,
Let's go look
but
around.
it's a very nice area once you finally get in there.
Device is currently inoperable. Shortcuts. Those boys look like the Shadow of Yarnum.
That's because they are.
Oh!
Same
Relatives?
movesets and everything.
Gross.
Uh-huh.
Well, to be fair,
Super stretchy arms.
Shadow of Yarnum were a bunch of chumps. They ain't nothing no more. There's stuff over here? No. Oh, we can go up or down? Up is probably the way they want us to go, right? I hear a thing.
Uh-huh. Does it sound slow?
I don't know. It sounds goopy.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a goopy boy. Somebody get your child. Oh, it's a pig.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ah,
We're
shit.
being invaded.
Yep.
I'm gonna take care of this pig real fast.
I'm gonna peace out.
You're leaving?
kind of.
That's.
Sneaky.
Are you?
I'm sneaky. Do you see me being sneaky?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I don't know where this person is. Also, there's like water down there. I see a scuttle buddy.
Yeah.
Do we do it?
I mean, maybe.
I-
I'm sure it's fine. There's probably no ambush down there.
Travis.
Uh-huh.
You're doing that thing again?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That thing that you just do. That you just
Uh-huh.
always do.
That's me. That's my brain.
Got some chunks. Are you just staying up
I
there?
found the dude. He is down here.
He's got a bow.
Oh, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up
what
there.
a coward.
He's got a bell head. I'm not following you over there.
Oh, I can.
I don't want to is the thing. That's a pig. Those are pigs with lots of eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's a pig.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back down here. He wants to fucking come fight. He can come fight us down here.
We are at an impasse.
Are you just gonna... Are you staying up there?
Well, I mean, like, he's got nothing better to do with his time.
You're on stream. Smile, buddy. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he also
he's got
has
that
bullshit
blade.
katana. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Cheesemeister 101.
For real. Hey, maybe you should consider, like, actually getting good instead of relying on, cheap tricks. Have you considered?
Well, now he's gonna be like, well, but have you fought the pigs yet?
We can handle the pigs just fine. Probably. Yeah, I'm not an idiot, sir.
Did I get him? Ah, not enough.
Nope.
I threw 2 poison daggers at him. I got him with the first, and then he was like, oh no, someone's throwing stuff at me.
Get him! Aw, dang.
But sir, have you met my thesis argument? There we go.
Pigs, pigs. Oh, the lag is real. Well.
Oh, he's not affected by pigs. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
There
it
should
is.
be some friendly fire there.
Right. I got such bad lag. Fucking hell. Oh, I almost had him.
Yeah.
What bullshit? Whatever. That was a fun waste of time. I wish there was a way to, like, not get invaded, especially if you're using, like, a password to connect with specific people.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess not. Hi, Llama. Yeah, you make everything better. Invasions are the worst. Can re-beckon. Only bad nerds like invasions. Yeah. I mean, like, I've definitely had some, like, fun encounters with invaders before, but, like, they've never taken it, like, super seriously, and it's just been fun. Like, the one, of course, it was one that happened off stream, but, like, the first invasion that I had, that was fun. I was having some issues in the Nightmare Frontier, when I was, like, first looking around there, and I got invaded. And the dude saw that I was having a problem with a lot of the enemies, so he just, like, stepped back and, like, peaced out after a little bit. I was just like, thanks, buddy. That's cool.
I lost connection.
Oh no!
Yeah. It rebooted me to the title screen.
Oh dang! Well, it's nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Rip. What is... How do I get down there?
So you remember that secret window?
Is that how you get down there? What
That's
just
how you
lit
get
up?
down there.
Why is it lit up?
There's things with lights.
They sound goopy.
Probably
Who
not.
is singing? Oh, is it the eyeballs?
It is the eyeballs, yeah.
The frenzy eyeballs?
There are 4 of them that way.
Jesus. I can't see them, but I see their flashes. And I hear them singing. That's not great. I don't love that.
No, it's not. I died a bajillion times trying to get that. And the final item there is an arcane item.
So
but
absolutely
there
useless for me.
There is an event that is unique that way. But it is not necessary.
Okay, well, you know what? While I'm waiting for you to reconnect, I might try to get down there. Let's go. God damn it! Can I just, like, walk out? Or do I have to?
I don't think so, because
Okay.
there's a number of, like, specters that you can click, and you watch them just go down, and you can see how they do it bad.
Existing. Existing seems to be how you do it bad.
But, like, I've seen people walk out bad, roll out bad.
It's just bad.
It's just bad.
It's just all bad.
It's very tricky. I would rather take fall damage from like going too early, but you can't do that because of the little
Mm-hmm.
filigree at the top.
Woof. Alright, well we gotta get to 420 death somehow, right? I'm gonna try and make it. Oh, yep. Ha! I got it.
Flawless.
I guess I should have asked if you want to go in this area with me before I ring ding dinged.
Oh, I can try.
We'll just. Oh, I can see the eyeballs. Oof. Yeah, we'll just sit here. See how many times it takes you to get there.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, well.
I don't know if it'll allow me to summon, but I'm here.
Well, I'm a
I'm
ring
in
ding
that-
dinging for you.
I'm in that hallway.
I'm in that hallway too. You did it so fast. It says I can summon you. We got a better hat. I need this lady to stop singing. It says I'm trying to summon. There's no X on my bell. Waluigi, what are you doing, bud?
I don't know. It might be my end.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I was gonna say, I haven't even seen the message of, like, you know, trying to find someone with the same password in a little bit. Oh, hi, Pearl.
Oh, hello.
Alright. Hold on. Before we go out there, I'm going to re-equip my sedatives. If I can find them. There they are. Oh! Oh no, it's still building.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Oh. Ma'ams? Oh, there's an item over there. Hold on a second. Sorry.
No problem.
I thought I'd seen it, and I had. Just earlier than I anticipated. Alright.
The next area has 2.
I see both of them. Okay, there's one. Don't you grow arms out of your freaking head! Let's take that sedative before I explode.
After you.
Oh no. Oh, why do they have faces?
the worst haircut
Of
possible.
course they do! Oh no! Bunch of spider nerds! Buddies! Oh god. He reared up and I got a close-up of his face. Unpleasant. Did not appreciate. Hold on. I always forget to re-equip my lantern after I die. Alright. There's a hole in the ground. I see eyeballs? Why did I see eyeballs? Why did I see giant moving eyeballs? That's why I saw giant moving eyeballs. Okay. Oh, that's the thing that you can do the make contact thing at.
And now the walk-up is no longer cursed.
Oh, beautiful.
So you'll be able to explore that whole area openly.
Fantastic. There's nowhere else, right? Only
That is
down?
correct.
Okay.
There
Down
is
we go.
only down. There is one more lantern.
Down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh no. There's an eyeball lady over there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she won't see me.
Secrets.
I'm gonna be so mad if I fall off this fucking walkway. Oh, there's a pearl in the way. Ouch. Looked like that hurt.
I died 30 times to get to this chest.
Jesus. Choir bell.
It is 100% not worth it.
Beautiful. Love that for you. Oh, this is where all the big spider was.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. But there's some spider friends over here. We need to go say hello.
And they're no longer human-headed.
They aren't. Because they're no longer cursed?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I think they still have the human heads upstairs.
Gross. Are those lights or items? Those are items. There's a lot of items here. What is this creaking noise?
All the bodies that have calcified? That's
No,
what I
it's
think
like...
it was.
Oh, okay, it is. It's every time we step on them. Alright. Love that for us. Great One's Wisdom. Great One's Wisdom. There is a little detour over here. There's items down there. And many eyes. Travis, I've lost you. There you are. Okay.
I'll just go very quiet and hide.
I mean, don't, oh no. But they'll know it's you.
Oh yeah. The dude that invaded immediately was like, I know this trick because I've pulled it myself. And then proceeded to try and backstab me.
Aw, dang. Did it work?
All I had was a message for him. And that message was to fuck off.
I love our little messenger friend. So crunchy. Open door with iron door key. I'm glad I had that.
Mystery solved.
Wait a second. This isn't the same as the Mikolosh fight, is it?
100%.
Oh! Well, what even was the point? Well, I understand why there's this side passage now.
Yeah.
Is there more to explore this way?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. There was a hole where the big eyeball monster was. And there were items down there. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Oh no. How did we get in here?
Oh, are you looking for where we were?
It's here. Yes. Yes. Yes, I was. I don't like the crunchy sounds. It concerns me. So yeah, there's like... There's a thing down there.
You want me to
do
try
it.
and fall and see if I can die?
I'm gonna do it. We're fine. You take a lot of damage, though. What is it? A blood rock? Oh, there's a door. Don't jump into the hole yet. Buddy, what are you doing? Oh, I know where we are. Okay. How do we get to the eyeball monster?
A good question. I do not remember.
Perfect. Well, he fell down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got this handled.
I would assume that we just fall.
That we fall through the hole?
Mm-hmm.
I don't... I feel like that's gonna do us a murder.
Yeah, otherwise we can try the,
Oh god, you're floating in the air.
You're floating above me, it's terrifying. There is the... Near the hidden window elevator,
Yeah.
there is that one that wasn't activated yet. We can try that one and see if it is active now.
Okay. I want to say, like... I want to say you have to use an elevator to get down there, but...
I mean, probably. Can I catch the elevator? Nope.
Get in! Nope. Too slow.
I think it would be upset with two people trying to ride it.
Oh, absolutely. It would not be happy. Does this one go up? This one goes up. Yeah, because this one stays open. And this is the terrible hidden window elevator. You know what? It's probably easier to get in into that window by going up. Device is currently inoperable.
Ah, dang. can't believe they've done this. That's another vine fruity.
We gotta educate. We gotta educate them. They need to know. They need to understand. I'm sending the elevator down to you. I see you. Then do we want to try and fall into that hole?
Yeah, we can.
Try and get in through the window. Yeah, go through the window while you're on the upswing. See if that's any easier. Because if it is, I might go all the way down just to come back up. Oh, look at you!
Flawless first try.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go all the way down to go all the way back up. I can't risk it. Yes, I can. Oh my god.
Did you do it?
Yeah, we did it. We're fine.
Oof.
It was terrifying, though. Wish I knew where this sinister bell lady was.
The world may never know.
I mean, her arm's gotta be getting tired, right? She's been ringing that bell for a while now.
Yeah, but with malice.
Yeah. I don't know. Even when I'm feeling a bit spiteful, I get tired.
Yeah, but you keep doing it just because someone said you couldn't.
Yeah, and then I stopped, not because they said I couldn't do it, but because I got bored. Does that work again? Can you use that? No. No. Window? Where are you, door? So, we gonna jump at the same time?
I mean, I could go first and then be like, oh, yeah, no, it killed me instantly.
Alright, well, have fun. The tunnel's gonna watch you fall.
Okay.
I definitely almost, like, threw myself over the edge.
Oh, yeah, no, it's very bad. The camera doesn't even follow you down.
I see. Bye, Pearl.
That is not the way.
Oh, dang. What's the way then? I need to know. Where am I in relation to everything below us? That's the real question.
Oh, the answer to that is above it.
Holy shit. You know what? I think you're onto something.
Uh-huh. I'm very good at that.
It looks like the ground down there is rendered enough to possibly be, like, actual floor. I don't know how to get there, though. Baby, stop crying. Unnecessary. Oh, the spiders are still here. Well. We'll just run on through. Oh, spiders are coming. Take care of him, giant lost child. Oh, they didn't come out. Alright. They can't come out.
But he's still upset with you.
Jesus. Fuck. I got stuck.
Oh, you did that very bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that through. That's okay. That's okay. Well, if I got Big Eyeball Boy down and that whole area is not cursed anymore, I can probably explore that area. Let me get out of the Nightmare Mensis. Let's not be at this lantern anymore. I just want to find this Eyeball Boy. Is that too much to ask? Probably. Oof. Where goes Loft Base? Let's go there. Do you still want me to summon you in?
We can give it a try.
Okay. Can go smash some hateful maggots together. Quality game. Beckoning Bell? Oh, wait, no, I can't, because the boss is dead. Never mind. Oh, right, we killed Big Wash. Ouch. Or I guess we could get down here, though, couldn't we? Oh my goodness, these children hit hard.
Allegedly, there is now a elevator that is active in the room with the metal people.
With the metal people?
Mm-hmm. The little
Oh,
murder
yeah.
jesters.
Oh, I think I know where that is. Let me go back to the lantern we were at previously. Because I can't summon you down at the bottom. Loft Middle? Or Nightmare Mensis? Where are we at?
Base, I think.
No, I couldn't summon you down there. Like, my bell was all, darkened out. Definitely not Mensis. Alright. I think it's middle, then. We're doing this so good. This is fine. Excuse me. I'm gonna fortify my weapon first. With this dang blood rock. Heck yeah. I am a weapons master.
Real
Murgo's
nightmare was the architecture we explored along the way.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I can summon you in any of those locations, though, since Mikolash is dead.
Oh, that is accurate.
Because, like, we can backtrack to get to some of those areas. Yeah. Well, I'm at, middle. Murgo's Loft Middle. This is where we had been showing up, because this is where the dog birds are. Hi, dog birds. Please stop. Please stop, dog birds. And while I'm waiting for you to get here, I'm gonna go turn my fan on. It's getting warm again. It only registers a little on OBS. Fantastic. Oof. Those dang eye ladies are back.
Singing their song.
Being goopy at the moment, but probably singing. Haven't heard it just yet, though. That's okay, I don't think we need to be anywhere near them. Hey, we found you! Coral!
Why, hello.
Hello! Alright, so... down... Oh, of course I didn't send it back up. Oh crap, where did it go? I could see the tower that we released him in from, right here. And it looked like there was a way to get there from below. By going all the way down to ladies first.
Are you trying to follow me in?
No. I'm not that brave. Not right now, at least. If we go all the way down, then
There's
we
another
can...
elevator down
Yeah,
there that can lead back up. I'm sending it back up.
Oh, fantastic. I always forget that this is one that you can easily send back up. I was all ready to pull that lever. Call me Kronk and pull that lever.
Oh no, that's the wrong lever.
Where am I going?
By all accounts, it doesn't even make sense.
I couldn't tell if that was
Okay,
going
sent
down
that
or
one.
up.
Going up.
It got here like right as I did. That was very nice.
I try.
You did good. I'm not gonna send that up. I'll regret that later. Are we on? Just didn't want to leave either of us behind. Metal Man.
So apparently the area with little pets
little pits.
There should be another elevator there.
Hello. Very nice. Dirty, damp blood gem. Is it this elevator?
Yeah, that looks like it doesn't belong there.
Just send him on down.
Gone forever.
I could just hear a bunch of them running around. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just leaving you with 20 of them.
Nah, it's fine. I got tentacles.
Oh, there's another elevator here. It just went back up.
Ooh, dual elevators, so that way you don't have to worry about sending one down.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's any, levers here. It's just blackness. Oh, hi, buddy! How do I... No, that's sitting. I don't want to sit. There's like a heartbeat down here, and I don't like that. It's got a hand! Oh, you're an ugly kid! Oh, you got hands! Oh, it's like the... Don't kill it, don't kill it, don't hurt it.
So you can do the contact.
Yeah, I don't know how to do freaking emotes.
Left black bar.
What? Oh! Oh!
Yeah, and then you can do your favorite emotes like this one.
The scream! Yeah, hang on a second. Where is... Make contact. We look ridiculous.
Oh, but it's 100% necessary.
Oh, absolutely. Also, there's a random book down here. This is beautiful. I like how my cape doesn't know what to do with me making this gesture. Are we close enough?
I think you need to hold it for an uncomfortably long time.
I mean, we're already kind of there. Oh, I got moon.
Got more moons. Oh, so yeah, you got everything you need to from him. Oh, but right in the eye? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not hurting anybody.
No, but I want to know what he has.
Oh, check this out. That.
Oh! This is cruel.
Also reminding you of the eye bank?
Exactly like the eye bank. Just like work. This is how we did it. Just like this.
I don't think that's 100% right.
You wouldn't know. You didn't work there.
Not with you, no. He's looking at me as I betray him.
Got living string. What does that do? What are you? special material used in a holy chalice ritual. Useless.
For now.
Also, random book.
So if I just keep running in this direction,
You're like circling.
yeah. Invisible wall found.
Ah, disappointment.
That's not too bad.
Goodbye forever.
I can't believe you've done this.
It's a good one. It's such a good vine. Why are they so dang good? Get in that elevator. Here, I'm gonna send more books down. I hope
Please
you like
don't fall.
reading. Oh,
Ah,
hi!
More National Geographics.
You just, like, appeared.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well,
That is how I do.
it was spooky.
I'm going to die.
Hey, don't do that. Ouch. Beautiful, perfect, fantastic. Cool, well we got a
Easiest
thing.
boss of all Bloodborne.
the saddest boss. Both went for the button. Alright. Other elevator. It's just all elevators. It's all elevators from here.
You know, I can see this castle being a Willy Wonka invention.
Dang, I don't want to be here anymore. I bet if I licked this wallpaper, all I would get is just, like, lead poisoning.
No.
Thought about it? Also, that's fine, Fruity. I guess Shogi's important. I guess. No, it's good. Super chill night tonight, and this is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna... Oh my god. This elevator is scary. Sending it back down.
I appreciate it. I could have also pulled the lever,
Yeah, but...
but less
Yeah.
work for me.
I have to face my fears eventually. Or die trying. Oh my goodness. Congrats on winning. I know jack all about shogi. It's chess, but not. That's as far as that goes. Oh, right, I forgot about these boys. Oh god, I forgot about these boys. Oh lord. hit hard. They hit very hard. Zombie pieces.
So Shogi is chess and not Minesweeper.
I guess. Okay, do we want to deal with these pigs? Or do we want to
Yeah.
finish that shortcut?
Oh, we can deal with this pig.
Let me just shove my hand where it should not be inside this pig.
I mean, if you do the other end, you're bound to lose your arm.
Oh god. I also heard the bell lady, which means she's close.
Oh man, that'd be nice.
She sounds further away now. She sounds closer now. Oh, I see her!
This doesn't make any sense.
I see her.
She's up right there.
Yeah. She's dead. Oh! God, that one came out of nowhere. Shogi is a puzzle platformer.
Oh yeah. There we go.
That immediately means it's your thing, right, Travis? Like
100%.
Oh.
Is that 4? That looks like 4.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 4 of them.
And I think
Act
big
natural.
boys are right there.
Yep. Fucking fantastic. Let's go kill these boys?
Yep.
Oh, I ran out of stamina.
Don't need that.
Well, I mean, we did just fine. That went exceptionally well. Do you want to get the
Teamwork.
pigs?
Yeah. All I know is that they're not holding still, which I would like them to hold still.
Oh, they're not gonna.
Also, where's the second one?
He's coming back our way.
Okay. Maybe we can get the attention of one and not the other.
We
There
got
we
the
go.
attention of one. Is this what you wanted?
No, because he's not going for it.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Ouch! Oh,
I
no!
died. One hit.
Well, he's dead. Oh, dang! Oh, dang! Buddy! I'm still ring-ding-dinging. I can kind of head back in that general direction. If you want.
I wouldn't be upset. We are getting close to the boss though, so I don't know if you want to do that by yourself first try or
Oh, good point.
have a little buddy.
Let's go ahead and have a little buddy since I'm already using the insight.
Alright.
Oh, God. Wait, is that you? Wait, is that you?
No,
Okay.
that's not handsome enough.
It's very difficult to see when they're all translucent and wobbly-like. It looked like they had the same hat. You know. Same hat.
Tiny top hat with a little wig.
Yep. Um... I am at the elevators. At the top of the elevators.
All right.
Does that work? I can come down if need be.
No, I'm there.
Okay. Stop crying, messengers. Everything's okay. It's okay.
What
Today
hat are
is-
you wearing?
Oh. The blindfold cap.
Solid choice.
It looks neat. That's you! That's you! Alright, gang, come on!
Struggling to summon each other.
Yeah.
It'll do it eventually.
I can see the eyeball lady from here, and I don't like that. I'm just gonna run circles in front of this elevator. Hope people don't get dizzy.
Watch as you accidentally walk into the elevator of doom.
I would find a way. Now the other way. Hey, game.
I'm getting invaded. Is what's going on.
Oh no. Well, best of luck to you.
Well, thanks.
You gonna yeet yourself off a cliff?
I could.
But make sure they see you first.
I'm gonna make contact.
Make contact, scream a little bit, and then just jump. Oh, big yawns. Oh, I think I see you. It's not dead me, is it?
I have no idea what that elevator is for. Not at the moment.
I wonder if it comes from up above.
Oh, could be.
It's like, I keep thinking it's for down, but it very well could be an up elevator. Oh, they got a cool weapon. We
There
found
we
you!
go.
Did you die or did you beat your invader?
Oh, I yeeted myself off a thing. I didn't want to be in like a struggle.
Makes sense.
And then do the struggle that is the game.
Right though? Oh god, don't jump. don't do that.
There's still Serpigus, right? Second pig?
Yeah.
Or
just-
third pig?
Just the one actually.
One built a house out of straw. One built a house out of sticks. One built a house out of eyeballs.
Dear god, I don't want this house. There's Sir Piggy Dead. Nourishing damp blood gem. More things. King Coldblood, King Coldblood.
Probably a save state right outside the boss.
Please. That's okay. That's where we came from. That's the secret path. Ma'am.
Oh, I remember her. She showed up after Rom.
Yeah, she did. Her belly's all sad. Bloody. That's the... Oh, Queen. I like your dress.
It's a little
she-
messy.
I can't talk to her.
Mhm.
Oh, her hands are cuffed. What the heck?
You know what this calls for? An investigation.
Just gotta get like a really good close-up of that monocular. Yeah. Yeah. She's so sad. Alright, what's down here? Before we go inside the building. A chest!
A chalice?
Yusefka's blood. But
What's
I
she
have
doing
some.
over here?
Right? I thought she was dead. Oh!
Yep, there's the elevator.
Oh god. Good! Now I don't have to deal with all that stuff anymore.
No more piggies.
No more
more wiggies.
piggies. No more shadows. Just no more.
Oh look, it's another elevator?
Another elevator. An elevator.
Oh, Wonkavator. This one goes left and right.
Oh no. Oh, look, we got an audience.
I think they've been waiting for a long time. They didn't realize how hard this game is.
Same hat! Same hat! Same hat! Okay. My hat's better, though. Remember light. Baby buggy bumpers. I know Murgo's got some, like, good music. That's the extent of my knowledge. And
Is this not Eileen?
It's actually Eileen's mom.
Oh, jeez.
Oh! Well, I guess she's not technically Murgo, is she? She's just wet nurse. Oh! Oh, you spin!
Spin to win.
I don't like it. Ma'ams. Individual hits don't take that much, or don't do that much damage, but she hits a lot. Ouch.
Look at me, I'm a martyr.
She looks so cool. Bam. Where did she go? Hey now! I can see how this would be miserable on your own.
I don't know what you mean.
I kind of like it. Like, she's quick but manageable. It's a cool boss fight. It's a neat boss fight. I like it.
She is slow and deliberate in her attacks. She's definitely, like, there's some bullshit that she hasn't pulled yet. Like, this is it.
Well, it's not gonna. Because we got her. That's a cool fight, though. I think I'd appreciate it more on my own. But, like, that was still a good fight. I liked that. That was very chill. Hi, baby. Treat child with care. No. No. What? Okay, I was like... that took an awfully long time for it to recognize. I got another third of an umbilical cord. I'm 1/3 short. God damn it, Travis. Can I break this?
I would
Bad?
definitely swing by Cathedral Ward and see how people are doing.
Oh, that's true. It's been a minute. I'm gonna swing at this baby. It does nothing. Alright. Short break to Cathedral Ward?
Smash cut.
Let's go! Everyone's probably doing bad. They were all doing bad before. I only imagine it's gotten worse.
What are you talking? You did the thing.
Oh my
so-
god, everything's on fire!
The doll looks non-bothered.
I mean, absolutely! She's just like,
Good hunter,
sup?
dawn will soon break.
Oh, you've got new
This
dialogue.
night and this dream will end. Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree.
Is Gehrman the final boss?
Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close.
Oh, dang.
Farewell.
Can I go in here? Is it safe? Inside's
Maybe.
fireproof.
This is a dream, right?
I suppose so. Okay, hold on. Let me fix everything. Let me also check my blood gems, because I got a bunch of new ones. I don't think any of them are better than what I've currently... Oh, no, okay, never mind. Some of them are significantly better than what I've got. Dang.
What's the cursed one do?
Curse Fire Blood Gemstone increases stamina cost. But fire attack, physical attack, HP gradient depletes. Alright. Oh, hello. Yeah, okay. What does this moon do? Acquire more blood echoes. Damage reduction, frenzy resist. Can probably take away the frenzy resist now at this point, right? Actually, no, we'll just...
Yes.
I don't like the creaking noise that this place is making.
Well, it's
That's...
on fire.
I mean... Yeah. It sounds like hammering, though. What's back here? I mean, I know what's back here, but... nothing new. Cathedral Ward. Gotta go say hi to our friends. Make sure everyone's alright. Something tells me they're not. Our lady in red, who is wearing one of the Kayshurrr dresses, she wasn't doing too hot. Grandma lost her mind. And the church woman was just laughing to herself the entire time. Just giggling away. Hunched over church friend was fine, though. Oh, Lady Cakes is gone. What? There is blood on the ground. There is a lot of blood on the ground. Alright. I have my share of woes. Grandmama? Oh! Oh! Where's our lady friend?
Ah, that this here, but next time you're out, if you've got it.
Okay, so he doesn't have anything new to say. I am concerned. Wait, there's no more blood. This is where it led, yes? Yes? Did she fall down the ladder? What the fuck? Ma'am! Are you just gonna laugh forever now? Okay. Well. Oh, it's got like little wings! Its noises are cute.
Is it like a little baby Ebriotis?
Yeah! Yeah, it is! Desire to murder increasing. Do I do it?
It's up to you.
Do we do it? I mean, she's made it this far. No, I'll leave her be. Someone's got to take care of that wiggly bee before I kill it. Well, dang! No, we're gonna go do a murder. She's lost her mind. She doesn't want this. That's fair. I'm doing this because I love you.
Oh.
Want to hit. There we go. I got a full umbilical cord now.
Yeah, you've got 3/3.
I also got shoes. Yes! Oh, that's awful.
Some little ballet flats. I like the tights.
Those are my legs. I don't like looking at how lanky he is. There's something extremely upsetting about it. Oh god. I think it's the Kayshurrr stuff that's like the Kayshurr's armor that's just like really tight. And it's disgusting to look at these noodly arms and legs. I don't want to know what's under the clothes. Let's go, Waluigi. He's just so disproportionate. This isn't what people look like.
They did make a choice with body types.
Absolutely they did. Oh, we're level 93. I don't want to do Gehrman just yet. I want to do the DLC. Ugh. Choices. Well, maybe I'll be able to level up enough with all this cold blood that I've got. We'll just leave the hunter's dream in in this burning mess for a little bit. It's fine. Oh, Oh, dang. Okay. Away we go. Ludwig sucks, though.
He sucks so bad.
So here's the thing. He's bad. And I don't want to fight him.
We could probably get, like, how quick does he kill us? 2 minutes? We could try it 17 times.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna go see Bad Horse again. Welcome fully back. Alright, I'm a ring ding ding and I'm gonna go grab Henriette though. I mean, just watching chat with your sword out is acceptable. I wouldn't be mad about it. But I get it, you gotta be back for Bad Horse. See how bad we're doing it. But I've leveled up a couple of times. My weapon is now, like, fully upgraded. My stamina and health are better. My clothes don't matter. It's all about fashion souls at this point. And we got our buddies. Team's back together. We got the band back together. Nice hat!
Thanks.
Hold on a second.
What do you
Hold
think
on.
of my shoes?
They're very nice. Hang on. Is that the knight's garb?
It is.
I like how I know these things now. Same outfit.
Same hat.
Same hat.
Henriette's doing it bad, though.
God damn it, Henriette. Wait, your knight's outfit looks different than mine.
Well, yeah,
sorry.
I'm a lady. It's cut differently.
Let me put this away. Yeah, but yours is like red and it's cool. I just got this long coat. I also like how our noses don't fit in the cage. Like they're clipping through the bottom bar. Look at the schnoz on that boy. Get out of my way. Oh god, why is my nose so veiny? She's got a bigger mustache. Oh no. Yeah, kinda. Oh, it's bad. We did it bad. Let's find something that has the best armor across the board. Graveyard manchettes aren't too bad. Literally everything is better than Ariana's shoes. Alright. I'm set on my wacky clothes.
What you wearing?
I've got... Oh, what do I got? Blindfold cap, bone ash armor, graveyard manchettes, and the black church trousers slash dress.
Solid. Solid choices.
Not great, but it offers decent protection just against everything.
Alright, Henriette, we just keep running.
Right, we gotta go. No! Henriette! You fucking idiot!
She dead already?
No, she's definitely fighting Squid Boy, though. I'm gonna go activate the boss. See if that draws her attention. Wait, where'd you go?
I went to pick up some blood vials.
Oh, here's Henriette. Okay. And here are
Yeah.
you. Alright.
Here we are together.
Oof. Ah! Ouch. Oof! Those kicks. No one likes looking at him. It's just bad. Across the board, everything is bad. Stop kicking!
I like this guy. Big head. It's a good big head.
It's a bad big head. There's nothing pleasant about any of this. Oh, I need that stamina back. What is he doing? What is he doing?
Something?
What is he doing?
Oh, cutscene.
Here's phase 2! Oh, he's so awful.
We did it good.
We did do it good. Don't neigh at me! No! Oh, dude, no!
Hey, Ludwig. Why the long face?
My guiding moonlight.
Ludwig, you're a horse! You shouldn't be able to hold a sword! Oh god. I don't like him standing up like that. Alright, don't get in that circle when he does that thing. Henriette's like 100% dead.
She's holding in there. It looks like, yeah, she healed up.
Good for her. I didn't expect that much. Ah, dang.
I tried.
I could've. Oh, back up. Back up.
How far?
I don't know.
How far is far enough? Henriette didn't get it, though.
No. Oh, God. No! Sir, I just need to heal up. Please, please, please. Oh, God. Oh, he's no longer Ludwig the Cursed. He's the Holy Blade.
Oh no, he's backed into me.
Come on, 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 come on! Hell yeah! Go us.
First try.
Got guidance. Alright, give him my second to, like, calm down. Don't scream! Oh, that scared the piss out of me! I thought he came back! I was like, I'm not even holding my controller! His head is still here!
Oh yeah, you can definitely talk to it. I'm gonna peace out and let you explore the rest of the area.
Sounds good. Whenever you want to kill Ludwig in your game, let me know. If you haven't already, that is. Thanks for all the help, friend. Oh my god, yeah, definitely kicked a lot less that time. For that second phase. Yeah, whenever you want to do it, let me know. I feel much more better about that situation.
Good hunter, have you seen the thread of light?
Bad
Just a
horse.
hair, a fleeting thing. Yet I clung to it, steeped as I was in the stench of blood and beasts. I never wanted to know what it really was. Really, I didn't.
Bad noises. Oh, I missed. Right? I really wanted to just be like, Holy Moonlight Sword. I want the directions on the script to just be angry horse. Wait. Oh, I don't have enough of something. Arcane. Yeah, I don't have enough arcane. I'm like one level away on arcane from being able to hold it. Dang. Alright. Well, he's not a problem anymore. They unintelligently. That's the kind of voice acting I want to get into. Sword is gun, sword may be gun. Blood vials. Sword might be gun. Oh, I should probably, like, stop co-oping so I don't get invaded.
Shrouded by nightfall with steady stride, followed by blood but always clear of mind, bound unto the church. Beasts are a curse and curse is a shackle. Only ye are the true blades of the church.
Alright, buddy. That's a big boy. I should go level up again. Hi, big boy. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't, Grandpa, no.
Shrouded by nightfall with steady stride, followed by blood but always clear of mind, bound unto the church. Beasts are a curse.
Okay, yeah, before... before we do that, I don't want to lose these echoes. So let's just hop back home real quick. It is... Okay, no, we got a little bit of time. I can wander around and explore a bit before we have to end. So, like, what? Probably, like, next weekend and we'll have this game done? Perfect, thank you.
Very well.
I'll add that to my voice acting reel, so when I, like, send in, you know, applications and resumes and stuff like that, they can get a full breadth of what I'm capable of. Let's go ahead and increase, our arcane. It seems to be doing the most. As is. Oh. God damn it. Oh! Hold on a second. Look at that! What's rally potential? What's rally? It's a dope sword! I love it! Sword is gun! Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and... I need more twin shards. That's an alright sword. Oh, when you regain health while hitting after taking damage. Okay. Maybe I'll do that in place of Moon. Because, like, acquiring more Blood Echoes is really nice, but, like... eh. Okay. Oh, I should put... Rally's what it's called. We put tennis sides in the ball back and forth a bunch of times. Perfect. So what I'm hearing is this is a, an approved, tennis racket. This is legal to use in the court. Perfect. Alright, what's 109? Yeah, that's good. Okay. I want to say twin shards are only like 2 insight per purchase. And I only need 4 more to get it up another level. So what if I just... So what if I just... What if we just do that? And then I can go farm them over the week. Yeah. Yeah. Because I only need 8 more twin shards for this, and then it's just chunks from here on out. Okay. Cool. Shit, we got a lot done, like, this whole weekend. Underground corpse pile is what that room is called. Solid. Perfect. Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, we got about 9 minutes until the end of stream. I think I can, like, wander around a little bit. See what's going on. And then I will probably item farm. Oh, he's not goopy anymore. He's all dried out. Arf. Item farm and maybe level up a couple more times over the week. And then we can probably finish this out this coming weekend. Assuming I don't die 20 billion times. Locked. Oh. It's not too bad. That's not what I wanted to do. That's also not what I wanted to do. There are 2 or 3 more areas? Okay, so maybe 2 weekends. Fist of Gradia. Is that a weapon? No. Or it is! Chunk of iron fitted with finger holes. Beautiful. That doesn't do a lot of damage right now. I guess that's because that's an arcane attack, isn't it? Ouch. Alright, buddy. Look. Gotta stick with the trusted pizza cutter. Bump my knuckles. I don't know that you want to bump knuckles with with that thing. Is there anything else out here? Or did I get it all? What's up here? Rats? Rats? I don't like it here. I do like getting bloodstone chunks, though. This feels like I need to be here. No, I guess I should probably do that now while we're on stream. Hold on. Great One's wisdom. Am I gonna have to fight this person? Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all! Yikes. Come on. Come on. It's friggin' church people. Okay, let's just go down here. Oh, yikes. Oh, yikes. No, Mium. Okay, that's one of them down. Oh! 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 You got... Okay. Hey, don't get me stuck on that corner, please. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ma'am! Alright, well look, while she's mad down there, finally decided to come up? They weren't that bad. I feel like anything compared to Ludwig is nothing. Like, everything from here on out's gonna be fine. What are you? Eye pendant! We got that ages ago. Get it? Eyes on the inside. Put the eye inside the head. Don't. That's not nice. Wait, I didn't want to go up. Oh no, I did it bad. Can I go back down? Is there a lantern up here at least? There is a lantern up here at least. Alright, this is as good a place as any to stop. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we got a lot done today. We got a lot done this weekend as a whole. I'm very happy with our progress. I wasn't entirely sure about it at first, but then as I've, as we started listing off everything that we did a lot. And that's great, and that's exciting. A fight with Ludwig and Budwig is a whole thing. At that point, I'd just quit the game and be like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to do any of this. We're good. Alright, let's set up a raid. It looks like I only have 2 people on right now. We've got Shania playing some Stardew Valley. Nimbly is just chatting. Anybody have any suggestions? Oh, Nimbly's building a cat. Oh, I see that. Let's go say hi to Nimbly. We've been raiding Nimbly a lot lately. But we love them. They just got married last week. They just mentioned that on Twitter this morning, and it's like, oh, congrats. Good for them. All right. Oh, dang. It's true. It's not our fault they're too wholesome. It's not my fault that like everyone like there's not been a ton of people online at these times. But that's okay. Better to pass it on to someone than no one. Right? Yeah, let's go say hi to Nimbly. And just hang out for a little bit. Seems like a good way to chill out post Bloodborne. So yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, hold on a second. I guess I should probably like finish setting things up. Let's go ahead and set up that raid for Nimbly. So yeah, thanks y'all for hanging out, doing stuff. Thank you, Travis. There's the regular one, and there is the sub-raid message. As per usual, you can copy-paste it if you're a sub, or if you're not, you got options. I'm gonna be playing some Darkside Detective tomorrow at noon Central, with Emmy. Emmy's gonna come over and hang out with me for a bit. I'm gonna try and get her to play with me some, but she'll be here, so you can say hi. And then we'll start Control tomorrow evening as well. I'm very excited for both these games. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, everyone have a great rest of your night. Yeah, 2 streams. I'm gonna try and implement these afternoon streams on Mondays and Wednesdays. Because I like it. I like how it breaks up my day but keeps me on a tight schedule of getting things done. It's good for me. So yeah, let's go hang out with Nimbly, and we'll see y'all next time.
Last couple of years, but Shy Girl, she makes some really cool music.